You know that you have things right now, beliefs, things to let go of that need to be named and need to be released. And we're going to get into that today. But first, I feel inspired to really get into, like Spirit has inspired me to talk about why we need to let go of these things, why we need to name them and release them. It's so you can become an empty vessel for the newness. And what is that newness? Oh my gosh. I got this incredible feeling. So these were the cards that had just like actually fallen out at the end of my last reading, and I knew they were for this reading. It's so you can experience the nectar of life and the sensuality, the excitement of this newness that is to be brought in so that your sacred heart can burn with passion. Doesn't that sound yummy and amazing? So let's remember that why. So you can have spiritual communion with the divine, with spirit, with other people. This is something we all want. We all desire in our hearts. And to do that, Spirit is showing me we've got to name some things today. All right? So we're going to get into it, and we're just going to face these things. It is time. Okay? So we're going to look at what belief you need to release, and we are going to name it. We're going to look at what role or roles you have outgrown, emotional weight that you need to set down, any fear that is posing as responsibility that you might need to let go of, how to go about letting go of this stuff with integrity, and then any additional advice from Spirit. All right, so let's get into this. Woo! I'm so, this whole nectar thing, it makes me excited to be like, okay, what needs to be let go of? All right, so I am going to pull all the cards first, and I just remind you, as I say in all of my readings, you are the author of your life. What we have in tarot is a chance to reflect on ourselves, to use them, the cards, as a connection with Great Spirit, with the divine, to really see ourselves clearly so that we can make choices and create our own future. Sometimes the cards do reveal to us, are inspired to reveal to us things that are going to possibly happen. But we are not bound to what the cards say. We all have the ability to choose. You are the author of your future, and you can make decisions around that. So use this. Take this. You are the judge. Take what you get out of this reading, moving forward as you see fit. I just had one fault. The fault line. Interesting. We're going to clarify that in a little bit. I'm hearing the word fault within it. Like, whose fault was it? Is it this or that? There's it really shows the two sides of a line. You are the judge to decide that. I'm getting interesting. I always spend a good amount of time before turning on the camera sitting with the energy, sitting with Spirit, praying, calling in my guides, calling in the directions. That would be a long bit to show on camera. So I invite you to ground yourself if you do not feel grounded. We want to feel grounded. Fulfillment. That's what you're wanting here. And I'm seeing those hearts, like the sacred heart. Look how many hearts are there. That looks like you're just surrounded by loving people. And that is your fulfillment. That's part of your why. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, so let's get into specific beliefs that need to be released. And let's remember, you're the judge of this fault line too. I'm going to keep that on the forefront. Okay. It looks like you were praying for victory, what you thought was victory, and did not receive it. So you're not like you were praying for something, whatever this victory is, and you believed it. You believed that was what was supposed to happen or come to fruition, or that person was supposed to be in your life. And you kept up with it. You kept praying for it and praying for it and praying for it. And I think part of you still believes. You still are wanting to hold on to it and build that idea of that belief. That reality was supposed to happen. I'm almost feeling like I want to cry right now of this like let down. And so you lost confidence in yourself and confidence in what you think is your intuition because you believed in that so much. And so we need to let go of this, first of all, of the belief that what is obviously not supposed to be, and only you know that. What in your heart, when I say that, do you know was obviously not supposed to be because it has not come to fruition? Now, does that mean just because you were praying for it and you felt it in your body and it was supposed to happen and you were grasping onto it, does that mean that now you can't rely on listening to your intuition, that you obviously don't know? No. If this has to do with a person, I feel inspired to say, I'm hearing, that's weird. It like came and then it was fleeting. That was the most fleeting thing. It came and it's gone. Was it something that was fleeting that you really thought was going to persist? You thought it was going to hold on, and you could feel the importance of it, and then it was just like, where is it? And once again, I feel like I want to cry. Where is this thing that I almost got to touch, I barely touched, that was the fulfillment of hopes and dreams? And so now I can't believe in myself. So we need to release the belief, first of all, that you don't know. Other people have free will, and we cannot control them. We can see possibilities and inklings of possibilities. But oftentimes it takes the cooperation of others, and not everyone is quite there yet, I want to say. I want to ask a little bit more about this belief that needs to be released. The hope. the hope. I'm feeling like around the heart space, just this like tightness of clenchingness of like, but I wanted it so badly and it was so fleeting. And let's just relax that. Relax that grip. That had to happen. That was your only hope. We need to release that belief. It wasn't your only hope. There's so much else. You wanted it at all costs. The cost of yourself. And that would have cost you the nectar of life. So, need to let go of this belief that was your only chance, or that was the only thing for you, or that needed to happen. It didn't happen for a reason, and had it happened, you would not have received the nectar, that yumminess that I feel within my body. You would not have received that otherwise. Okay. So let's get into the role. What role have you outgrown? You are transforming. Ooh. You're transforming out of emptiness. I'm seeing, it's funny because this is not on this card at all when I'm seeing the castle, but I saw an empty castle. And I have the Queen of Wands reversed. This emptiness, insecurity. So you've had some sort of role. A role that you've put yourself into, like you've lowered yourself. The role of victimhood. The role of victimhood. That you have this amazing castle. So I saw this card and it's a castle. It has pearls and a rose. And it's beautiful. You have an amazing castle, but you just see it as empty. This castle within your heart, you see that as empty. But also the castle of your life, because you don't have this thing that you wanted. You are encountering, you've placed yourself in the role of victim. And you've found comfort in that. You know, a lot of us, I've definitely experienced that. Being used to being the victim, and then that's just like, that's the comfortable role to play in your life. Because in some way you've probably benefited from it. And it's okay. Remember, this is all about, we are just calling it out and naming it. It's okay. We're not going to judge ourselves in that, because every single person on earth does that. So in this situation that you are having to face, this belief around what didn't happen, how did you put yourself in a role to be a victim? And Spirit is saying that you have outgrown this role. It is time for your transformation. Clear as day. You have outgrown the role. We have transformation here too. I have to block out the breast. It is time for transformation. It is time for your wholeness, for you to see the castle as it is. It is not empty. The castle of your heart, the castle of your life. It is not empty. You are not a victim anymore. You don't have to be that role anymore, and it's time to let it go. Woo! All right, your emotional weight to set down. Seeing a spider web, the weight of water, seeing heavy water, your emotional weight to set down. Just feeling this spider, like I can't even like concentrate on the other cards because this spider web feels so unpleasant. I want to actually like look this up in the guidebook on this one. All right. Thanatos, death. The emotional weight of death. That feeling of, oh my gosh, this died and I didn't want it to. It is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation, but the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Okay, I think that explains like my confusion around that. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. Right? We are seeing the death of letting this belief go. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. So the emotional weight that you're going to set down. And I feel like this is going to be a process of setting down. Because it says at the beginning, it's tempting to oversimplify it as like, oh, and now it's transformation. You're setting this down. Woo! Right? We're going to keep, I'm looking really at this web as a spiral. We're going to keep coming back to this and setting it down again and setting it down again. Setting down the grief around this, which is natural to have. Of course you're going to have grief around that which you thought was going to come to fruition, but left. But it's going to come around again and again, and it's that emotional weight that it's time to set that down right now. And it's okay if it comes around again. It's okay if it comes around again. Do not be dismissive of it. But you need to set it down. You need to recognize, oh my goodness, I just looked out my window and I saw weird. A dear friend of mine of 20 years died 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago. And I saw somebody walking outside. And from behind, I was like, oh, that's her, and then I realized that wasn't. I believe everything that happens for a reason within these readings. So I think that is bringing us to this reminder of letting go of grief. That we go down to the underworld and come back up, and we go down to the underworld and come back up, and it's okay. We don't have to be caught in the web. We can just circle with it. We can just circle with it. We don't need to be dismissive of our feelings, but we can have clear boundaries around them. And I got the Queen of Swords, and I'm seeing like her sword just like cutting away at this web, like one by one. Like every time we go down there, we're just gonna cut one more thing. One more little emotional weight each time. We don't have to cut it all at once, just one more time. We need to cleanse. To cover a lot of these cards up. But that is part of the purification, is that cutting with the swords, with the boundaries, as we come up again. Spirit, is there anything else that you would like? What's the first weight to set down? What is that first piece of web? Carrying the burden of it. You think it's your fault. You think it's your fault? You did something wrong? Do you think maybe if you were more perfect, had you done things better, that it would have changed how that went? This is the belief, the first belief to let go of. You didn't do anything wrong. There wasn't some perfect way that you could have behaved or you could have lined things up to make whatever happened come out the way you wanted it to happen. It wasn't going to. And maybe because it wasn't supposed to, or maybe because other choices from other people cause that to not happen. But you are carrying a burden that is really grieving you. I can feel it. I can feel it within my heart space. You are carrying this burden and not forgiving yourself. So that's the first emotional weight to set down. That's what we're going to focus on right now, of laying that down. All right. What fear? Just breathe into your heart for a moment. And it's okay if you're not feeling that you've let go of it yet. It's okay. It's a process. But it's going to come first with a decision of a recognition. There's a reason why you're hearing it. There's a reason why you clicked on this and it brought you here and you decided to watch. And so I hope that that can be enough for you. Spirit says it is. It's going to be. Okay, what fear do you have that is posing as responsibility? You have a fear of change, and that things are an illusion. That you won't know this from that. That when you pray for something again, you won't be able to create the web correctly, the web of your life, weave it together. And we have another web here. I feel like this is the web of fear, right? The web that we're letting go of, and this is the new web, but it was upside down. That you're afraid of what that new web is supposed to look like. You don't trust yourself. You're like, is it this or that, one or the other? Which one? How do I choose? How do I see past any illusion? This fear that is posing as responsibility. So meaning this isn't your responsibility. It's not on you. Your job is to have the eternal dance with life, to see what is the next thing that life is giving you, and have this dance with the nectar of it. You don't have to worry about, is it one or the other? You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to know what the web is going to look like before you create it. All you need to do is dance, and you move, and the web will be created over time. But you need to dance with the wheel of life. It says the path of least resistance. And it almost looks like webbing on her, right? As she's dancing, she causes the web to be made, but she's not focused on what the web is or what it's going to look like. She's focused on the eternal dance with spirit, on the movement of it, the change of it, and the path of least resistance, not resisting it. Not resisting it. So it's not your fear is that you don't know whether or not your choice, your future choices, that you'll know what to do. How do I know now? Because I'm not trusting myself. I didn't trust myself before, right? What I thought was going to happen didn't happen. So how can I ever trust myself again? Let it down. Just dance with the nectar of life. And the web will be created. It won't be under illusion anymore. We've gotten the moon of this illusion, anxiety, fear. We don't need to be afraid. It's not actually hidden. It needs to come from the nectar, not from figuring it all out. It's not your responsibility to figure it all out. It's your responsibility to dance with the nectar of life. How do we let go of what we really wanted to hold on to that was going to happen? How do we let go of this with integrity? Whew. By looking at our attachment, I think looking at our attachment to the victim role, going into the underworld, we got the underworld again, going into the underworld, facing the shadow here. We don't need to be afraid of shadow, right? In this reading, it's showing that the shadow self is coming forward as a victim, not seeing things as they truly are, only seeing oneself as a victim, as empty, and not allowing oneself to transform. Just through your magical work, I love this honeybee. What magic that honeybees do. This magical work. See, the moon in the enchanted forest, the moon doesn't need to conceal stuff, but reveal stuff. So to let go with integrity, allow yourself to reveal and to be revealed. Reveal your shadow. Reveal to yourself. I'm just keep seeing it reflected back on you that you are seeing yourself as a victim, and you're not. You are the judge of that. You have the deciding power. Am I the victim of this or not? So to step forward and to let go of this with integrity, it's recognizing that you're not truly a victim. You don't have to be a victim of this. And I'm not saying that whatever happened or maybe something was done to you, I'm not saying, Spirit isn't saying that wasn't the wrong thing, that wasn't a bad thing, but rather it's the way that you are seeing it. You can reveal itself to you, I'm hearing. This moon can reveal the enchanted forest to you. It doesn't have to be a scary forest. It can be an enchanted forest. And the way that you do that is going into the underworld, snipping that belief. Snipping the belief that you did something wrong. Snipping the belief that you are a victim. Recognizing those shadow parts of you that you want to blame yourself, hate yourself, act as if you don't know anything anymore, lose your self-confidence. Spirit, can I have a little bit more clarity on maybe something specific of how to let go? Like what is something, Spirits, what is something that they can actually do that you could help them in this process of going to the underworld and letting go? Something practical. Completion. Seeing a puzzle piece in the brain and lighting up completion. But what can they do? I mean, I know that it's going to be different for everybody, but can we have a little bit of clarity here? What can they do? Actually do. Maybe we'll get the herbal deck. What is something that's a little bit more practical as a way that can help with letting go? Something that is a way that can help with letting go, or that can make me understand, help me to understand, Spirit, these other cards. I'm seeing it going under, it's like another underworld under the lake. Oh, there's the castle. Under the castle. seeing the castle from another side, because the castle's under, it's not under the castle, it's the castle's underneath too. So seeing the castle of your life, of your heart in a new way. How do they see it? What is this new way, Spirit? The rebirth, ayahuasca. What is this new way? Seeing the DNA, the jaguar. Which brings me back to work. I think it comes down, obviously, to a decision, which feels a little obvious, Spirit. Of course, we have to make the decision and do it. Is it that simple? To go down into the depths. Going down into the depths of the underworld, the depth of the lake beneath, and allowing, facing it, truly facing it, to allow the rebirth to happen, to encounter the sweet nectar and dance. It's getting in there and doing the work. What is the work, though, Spirit? Are you going to reveal that to us? What is that work? Spirit, can you show us what the work is? I'm seeing, again, the card with the fault line, an earthquake. Is it shaking things up? Making a change? This came up on my last reading, the crone. It's to go to that reading. I think that's going to give more clarification of what it is that you're carrying, because this came up as the theme of that reading, and I think that will give clarification of knowing what it is, the good things that you're bringing forward is how you let go. It's doing the work moving forward, seeing life as the crone. So the crone sees the death and rebirth over and over and over again. The crone goes down into the depths and isn't afraid of it, and then comes back up and has that perspective, that broad perspective of life and death, birth, over and over again, those cycles. So it's not afraid of this, and it's not afraid of the underworld or going down to the depths. And the crone is with you and within you. And yeah, it's through this next work of recognizing what you are carrying into this next phase, into this next, I said adventure in that last reading. So I'm just going to say I'll see you over there. And that's it.